What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny Gutierrez. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Total Fight Mike. We are back. Thank you guys so much for sticking it out with us and joining us this Saturday at the Cicero Stadium in Cicero, Illinois. Total Fight Challenge is coming back, and then we will be back April 25th. Both days are a Saturday. We will be at the Cicero Stadium this Saturday, January 25th, 2020. I believe there are 5 title fights, so you do not want to miss this one. You get your tickets at the door. You could also get them online. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one this weekend. But this past weekend, we had UFC 246, the return of Conor McGregor facing off against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Now, this is a very interesting fight because Conor McGregor had not won a fight in a mixed martial arts bout since 2016. He took that brief hiatus to go take on Floyd Mayweather in that historic boxing bout. Someone who's never had a boxing bout in their life owns the record for the second highest bought boxing match in all of boxing history, across from one of the best boxers ever, arguably, in Floyd Money Mayweather. Excuse me. But regardless, Conor McGregor looked really good. And going into this fight, the entire narrative for this fight was, Cowboy never shows up for the big one. Or you could look at his record and all of his losses. A good chunk of them are title fights. A good chunk of them are main events or number one contender status fights, or guys who would later go on to become champions. That being said, Conor had a lot riding on him this past weekend because of the fact that he hadn't competed in mixed martial arts for quite some time. His last couple bouts were in boxing and mixed martial arts, and they were both losses. So Conor had to kind of get back on the horse, if you will, in this bout. It was time for him to get back on the horse in this bout, and he did just that. He demolished Cowboy in 40 seconds. He just came out with a straight left, and they clinched up. And while they were in the over-under clinch position, Cowboy had a hold of Conor McGregor's wrists on his left side, but what he didn't have a hold of, or what he didn't secure, was his shoulders. So Conor McGregor actually just kept pushing his shoulder over and over and over again into Donald Cowboy Cerrone's face. And when they broke, you saw Cowboy's face all bloodied and bruised already. I believe his nose was broken. Then Conor landed a head kick after Cerrone threw one of his own. Conor matched it with his own, but after that, Conor would just not let off of the gas pedal. He was on him from the word go. And Herb Dean gave Donald Cowboy Cerrone every single chance in the world. He tried to give him as much chances as he could to try and survive, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. Conor McGregor was just too much, and that's Cerrone's third stoppage loss, and Conor McGregor finally gets back into the winning column. As far as what's next for him, I mean, I'd like to see him go back down to lightweight, because this bout was basically headlined as a lightweight bout, but these guys aren't cutting weight. Excuse me. If that's the case, then maybe set up another fight with another top contender to see where Conor McGregor's at, or just have him fight Khabib Nurmagomedov after Khabib gets through Tony Ferguson. Now, Conor McGregor says that Tony Ferguson and the Khabib fight will not happen again. This is one of the most cursed fights ever. Before Khabib was a champion, before Tony was an interim champion, these guys had been slated to fight quite some time, for quite a few bouts, and I believe they've been scheduled to fight 5 different times, and there haven't been any. Each scheduled bout has fallen through, whether it's due to injury or from either party. So, yeah, Conor McGregor is back. It's unfortunately not a great weekend for Donald Cowboy Cerrone. This weekend we will have, this weekend there will be Curtis Blades and Junior Dos Santos on UFC Fight Night and ESPN Plus. And again, Total Fight Challenge will be at the Cicero Stadium for the next 2 events. So January 25th, 2020 and April 25th, 2020. Both are on Saturdays. Both are at the Cicero Stadium, Cicero, Illinois. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of the Total Fight Mike, and I will see you guys in the sequel. Peace. Thank you so much for bearing with me, by the way, because I am kind of sick, if you can't tell. I got really sick yesterday, but we are here back to work. I want to give a huge shout out to my editor, Patrick Lesnicki. Thank you guys so much. And again, for real this time, I will see you guys in the sequel. Peace.